It is Thursday, January 2nd, and we're diving into 2025 full steam ahead, or at least trying to after all that holiday lounging. If your post-New Year's energy is starting to fizzle, don't worry. Today's Thriving Thursday episode is all about building momentum, maintaining focus, and thriving in the long term.
Welcome to the Teach, Lead, Innovate podcast, where we dive deep into the heart of innovation, leadership, and transformative ideas shaping the future of education and technology. Each episode is a journey into the minds of visionary educators, thinkers, and leaders who are not just talking about change, they're living it. Real people leading real change. This is where passion meets practice and ideas come to life. Welcome to the Teach, Lead, Innovate podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Teach, Lead, Innovate. Today, we're going to talk about how to sustain the enthusiasm and energy we often feel at the start of the new year while keeping burnout far, far away. All right, so let's face it, January 1st seems magical, feels magical, but sometimes by January 15th, reality often sets in. So why do we lose momentum quickly? Research by Baumeister and Tierney on willpower and self-regulation shows that motivation alone isn't enough to sustain long-term change. Energy levels, mental fatigue, and a lack of systems all contribute to why many of us struggle to keep up. Remember, yesterday we talked about the importance of systems. The key to avoiding this slump is shifting from relying on motivation to building habits and systems that work for you, even when you're not feeling inspired. Think of it like cycling. You can't sprint the whole way, but steady pedaling will get you further. So here are three real-world examples of people in schools maintaining focus and momentum through intentional practices. So teachers at Willow Creek Elementary in Texas dedicate 15 minutes every Friday to reflect on the week's wins and challenges. They jot down one specific goal for the following week, and this small practice has created a culture of consistent growth and reduced teacher burnout by 20%. It's a nice number right there. And they're doing a great job at reducing something that is extremely important for us to keep working to reduce, right? And so at Edison High School here in New Jersey, right, their focus is on morning mindfulness. So Edison High introduced 5-minute guided mindfulness exercises at the start of each school day. Both students and teachers report feeling more focused and less overwhelmed, with student tardiness dropping by 15% in just one semester. 15%. We all know that chronic absenteeism is a problem, especially post-pandemic. So these little shifts can make a big deal. And Principal Rebecca Johnson from Greenfield Middle School in California spends 20 minutes every morning visiting classrooms to provide quick, positive feedback. This routine not only motivates teachers, but also keeps her in tune with daily challenges, strengthening relationships across the school. Remember, like I said yesterday in that example that I shared, is that we have to make sure as leaders that we are visible, and that not just that we're visible, that we are truly trying to serve those in our charge, those that we are leading. Super important. All right, so these examples highlight that momentum isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters most consistently, okay? So here's some news too, a news item that I want to share to inspire your 2025 momentum. Just last week, the EdTech Times reported on the growing trend of gamification in schools to keep students engaged year-round. Schools like Central Middle in Minneapolis are incorporating leaderboards and digital rewards for attendance, participation, and academic growth. Early results show a 25% improvement in student engagement during the typical sluggish January to February stretch. Gamification is a great reminder that making progress fun can keep the wheels turning when motivation starts to lag. All right. So, and I want to just share too is how many of us will download apps where we're tracking our habits, tracking our progress, tracking our nutrition, and we are in some way, we can be gamifying our habits, right? Research says that those things help, especially journaling, what you're eating, those help continue to sustain you moving forward. So gamification, not only in school, gamification in your personal life as well, can be very beneficial. So where do we start when we want to build momentum? What are some tips that I can share with you today? So what I would say is set some mini goals, right? Break big goals into small, manageable steps. Instead of saying, I'll improve student engagement this semester, focus on one action, like starting each class with an energizing activity or a do now. Celebrate progress. Make sure you celebrate those wins. That's so big. Whether it's completing one lesson plan or getting through a tough week, recognition fuels motivation. Give yourself a pat on the back. Hopefully, you have leaders that are doing that for you, but if you don't, make sure you're doing that for yourself, okay? You deserve it. And create accountability, right? Share your goals with a colleague, a friend, or even your students. Knowing someone's rooting for you can make a huge difference. So, momentum isn't about perfection, right? It's about persistence. As you kick off 2025, focus on consistent, intentional steps that move you closer to your goals. Remember, thriving is a marathon, not a sprint on this Thriving Thursday. And as always, thank you for tuning in to Teach, Lead, Innovate. You can watch this podcast on YouTube or listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, or any other major platform. We're out there. All right. If today's episode resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below with your strategies for building momentum. I'd love to hear them and I'd love to respond to as well. So until next time, stay inspired, stay positive, and have the best day ever.